Hi, this is Steve and John from Midlands Metalheads Radio, and today we're speaking with the Parallax method. How you doing, guys?
Good. Yeah.
Excellent. Bit of a last minute dropping in. Yeah. When did you know that you were playing? Last night or something?
I think we've had about a week.
Yeah.
So was it literally drop everything? We've got to go to North Wales type of thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And get some time in the studio.
Yeah, relearn everything.
Oh wow!
So where have you travelled up from? Where are you based?
Nottingham.
Yeah, so it's a few hours then. For
Yeah, about 4 hours. Taking us something like that.
4.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So for the listeners of our radio station who perhaps haven't heard of it, do you want to give us a little bit of a potted history of the band, when you formed, about the overall sort of ethos? Talk about that.
Revised it, shouldn't we?
Revised it.
What year did we start?
2014,
15, I think.
So we've been going for about 4 years. Like that. So we started out just it was just supposed to be a bit of fun, a bit of an outlet from our other bands that we were in at the time. And then we decided to record and capture the things that we were coming up with and perform it live, which we never thought we'd be able to do really. But and then we just got interest off magazines, and we played some decent festivals. So and it's gradually been we're just keeping it going really and seeing how far we can take it. But that's the story with Prog, isn't it?
Yeah. There's some complex stuff going on, with your music. But I'm quite fascinated by this obsession with squids.
Forget the owl.
And the owl as well. What's the thing with squids? They seem to be coming into the mix quite a bit,
I don't know. I think it was like an initial concept, wasn't it? When we first did the first EP, we wanted it to be somewhat a loose concept, and we came up with this idea of a squid and an owl, sort of like in space or something. I don't know where that came from. But
it's like having a battle kind of thing, isn't it? It was just
Were you actually on something at the time?
No. I wish we had that sort of excuse. But
That'd be a really good idea.
Because there's actually a film called The Squid and the Whale.
I've not seen that yet.
Yeah?
Maybe we've ripped it off.
I didn't know whether you'd done the soundtrack or anything. Because the one good thing about instrumental music is obviously you can call the music whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some of your track titles are quite abstract, to say the least.
Yeah. It's quite easy to, I think, when you're naming an instrumental piece, it's quite easy to make it sound like super serious, and we don't really take ourselves that seriously, so we wanted to make sure.
That vibe a little bit. And
that's
the music we were listening to a bit earlier, weren't we? And there's definitely there's a feel good factor in there. You can just tell, there's weight, there's heaviness, but it sounds like you're having fun when you're playing it.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And who would you say, that sort of rocks your boat in the modern world? Because obviously, as I was saying to a band earlier, prog for a long time was very much a dirty word, it was spoken in whispers almost, where I think it's very much on the up now. Do you think, as a young band, do you find that?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of, we do like, me personally, I'm not really massively into the old school, so I like a lot of the old school sort of singing. I've been to see bands like Rush and stuff like that, and I can appreciate that. But there's a lot more, it tends to be more heavier side of progressive bands coming through now, and that's becoming a lot more popular. So I think that's influenced us a lot. But then we like the more traditional sort of stuff. We're big, massive Stephen Wilson fans and that kind of thing. Aristocrats, all that sort of.
Yeah. But then we draw influence from non-prog stuff as well, like Primus and Incubus and sort of 90s, 2000s sort of influences that aren't really prog, but it's what we were listening to when we were teenagers, and that sticks.
Because you're in a similar vein to the Aristocrats, isn't it, really? What you do.
It's just not quite as good.
A full man's version.
Oh, I don't know.
Fraction of the talent.
Well, I heard it sounded pretty damn good.
So you guys have known each other a long time then, it's kind of...
It's quite some time now, probably...
Getting on 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, probably.
Because we were in different bands at the time. Me and Danny were in a band together, and then you were in another band, and then Danny used to fill in for your band.
Yeah.
It's all quite incestuous.
Yeah. Local scenes are a bit like that, aren't they?
Yeah, and then but none of that was prog. So this was like
the new metal days.
The new metal days, yeah.
There's lots of musical ingredients in there.
Yeah.
So there's 2 EPs to date. With,
Yes.
The Owl, the Wise Owl, and the Sly Squid. I think lifting the words straight from your website. I just love that concept. I've got a squid there. I think I've got an owl tattooed somewhere. So close to my heart. But yeah, so is it going to carry on as a series of EPs? Is there going to be other super space animals that are going to be joining the Earth, or are you going to make an album this time?
Well, the aim is to do an album. We've already started recording it. It's going to be how many tracks? 10 tracks.
Yeah, 10 tracks. A couple of short, like 4 minutes.
That's a short track.
The short
And you call
skits.
yourselves prog.
Skits, they're interludes at 4 minutes.
But so we're hoping to have that out probably we want it out for festival season next year, don't we? So the aim is like release around June time. So.
Because although you're instrumental, was that a conscious thing? Not to have a vocalist.
Well,
is it because you struggle with singing, or you just think?
We've traditionally found that
They're a nightmare.
Yeah, they can be, and we just thought, why don't we just play without one? And it just sort of stuck from there. But I think it's made us think more about the music. Like I think when we've been in bands with vocals, you just sort of go, oh, here's a verse riff. That's it. That's fine.
Loop it.
Yeah, you just say, oh, it doesn't need to be that interesting. It's got vocals over it. But now we have to think about every part, like to make sure it's interesting on its own.
Did you ever get tempted to burst into song yourself? Or are you playing it?
No, nobody would appreciate that.
I do sometimes turn some of the riffs, add words to the riffs, but none of that's airable. So that stays in my head. Helps
you
me
remember
keep time.
Yeah, I've been there in one of the bands I have. We've got this song with this breakdown in the middle of it. It'd be like riff, 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 thrashy, thrashy, riff. When you're rehearsing it, all of the band are saying those words. It's like we were tempted to record a version with the words in it. Have you got a working title for the album?
We were just talking about that today, actually. We've got names for every track. A lot of the track names came before we wrote the tracks.
Okay.
Because we just like puns too much. But we don't have a working album title yet, actually. Originally, we were sort of throwing around the album.
But then when you write it down...
Yeah, then when you write it down, you're like,
It actually says album.
Yeah.
Just imagine the album cover with the rear end of an owl.
Yeah, we're not sending that to the artwork guy. Oh yeah, we've got an album. It's called the album. Can you make appropriate artwork? Yeah.
Actually, talking about the artwork, I love the artwork on your T-shirt and EPs. Who do you use for your design?
He's Daz. What's his surname? We call him Daz Mondo.
I don't actually know his
From
surname.
Bingo Creative, and he. So where we're from, Nottingham, Derby sort of way. He's the guy who does all the artwork for the local bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's very, very good. He did stuff in like the last bands that we were in as
we've
well.
known him
So,
for years, haven't we?
yeah, but he's. Oh, we're doing a new project, right? Bring Daz. Yeah, he's very, very talented, as you can see from the artwork.
Yeah. And did you just give him a concept and he worked through that, or did he?
Yeah, we basically just said it's an owl versus a squid. We kind of liked the sort of steampunky kind of vibe, but in space, and then he just came up with that, and it was great. Yeah.
It's nice because we often have very bizarre conversations between us, and he's the kind of guy where you go and say to him this kind of thing, and then he doesn't, he just, oh, okay, that's cool, yeah, I'll do that, that's fine, and actually he'll make it even more bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yeah, you're going to use him on the album? For doing the album cover?
I don't think we know what we're doing yet.
Yeah, we haven't really made.
Because I think it's
We
not.
haven't thought that far ahead. That's
No.
the thing. We're so immersed in the music and everything. So
We've not really thought of this one doesn't follow the same concept. We've sort of left that concept where it's like finished, and whatever this new one's doing. I don't know. We've got a concept. I don't know.
Not really. I think the naming scheme kind of threw the concept out because it was just in jokes that made us giggle. Like,
the track names will mean nothing to most
No.
people, but we find it hilarious.
In jokes. Excellent.
So what comes next for you? Obviously, this is a big gig. You know, you're playing to a crowd, potentially winning some new fans. What's next for you? What's the next big thing?
Mainly focusing on recording, aren't we? That's the main thing. We say we're partway through recording the album now, so that's the focus. We've got we're playing the
Tech Fest show into
Tech Fest show in January, and then I think we're just focusing on recording.
Getting ready for festival season, where hopefully you'll get some more.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Do you tend to find that prog's such a broad genre, appealing to many different people? Do you find that it's mainly the younger side of things that tend to sort of get drawn to your music? Because I would imagine some of the diehard proggies would say, "Oh, that's not prog; it's more jazz fusion or something like that."
I don't know. I don't know. We've got like quite an even split, really.
Yeah.
I think. I think we've
male.
Yeah.
I think when you've got so few people that listen to music, it's hard to find the diversity split because it's such a small pool. So, that one person, it's like, well, they're the majority. So.
I think we've done gigs of both sides. Like we've played Tech Fest a couple of times, and that tends to be a generally younger crowd.
Yeah.
And then we played with Von Hertzen Brothers last year, and that was an older crowd, which I didn't expect actually, but that was a great show.
Although we were told to start again by one group of...
Oh yeah, he didn't appreciate it, did he? Kay walked
He
to us
said-
afterwards and says, "I think you need to just start again. Get
No
a singer and start again."
Yeah. So it was like, okay, we'll do
All right, sorry, mate.
That's rather harsh. It has to be said.
Because we were down at Rambling Man earlier in the year, and they had this band on from Australia called Voyager,
Oh yeah, we've seen them, yeah.
and the guy comes out with a guitar.
Yeah.
One bit they start doing is it that just throw it in there. And when I was interviewing them after they'd done their set, I mentioned about the fact that he come out with his guitar, and he said, and there was this old guy at the back with his arms crossed like this, going.
Old guy does not approve.
Yeah, it's not prog. They're a very discerning bunch.
Yeah, but I think it's like prog's meant to be one of those genres. It's experimental, isn't it? And
But it's progressive.
well, yeah. So it's like,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very word itself.
yeah,
Open-ended.
yeah. So when people say it's not real prog, it's like, well, what is real prog?
Exactly. How do you define it?
Yeah.
How would you define it?
Oh, we were just having this conversation earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
So, when somebody asked me what prog is, I'm like, I can't really answer it. But I always like panic and think like, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that.
It's not conforming to the standard platform of song structure for me. I think that's
Yeah,
what,
it's
'cause
song structures, time signatures.
yeah.
But
It's
then
not chorus verse chorus for us. It's very we're very influenced structure wise by like classical movements. So that was the idea behind. We want to start at A and end at Z. That's the progressive side for us really. But that's what when I listen to progressive music, it's just that kind of ability to use exotic scales and interesting time signatures. And it's not always about, like some people think prog is just a story about a wizard that's
Wizard
stamps,
keeps coming up a lot, I tell you. Poor old
but
bugger.
it's not,
Sometimes there's stories about squids as well.
Well,
it's not always about that aspect. Most of the time for me it's about the actual musical content.
I'd imagine your music lends itself to improvisation a lot.
No.
there's no
There's
improvisation.
no way.
You can't go off on a tangent and then...
No. Well,
If it was Aristocrats playing our music, they'd probably be able to do it. But
we like it. We like it to be structured. It's like we recorded it a particular way, and that's the way it is. I know a lot of bands where it'd be like, oh, it's a solo section, so you can do whatever you want. Whereas you play the same thing every time, don't you? Because that's the solo you've taken the time to write to fit the song. So that's what we want it to sound like every night. I guess.
we don't see things as solos or anything like that. It's like just a
melody
lead moment, a melody moment. So it's as much, because with instrumental music, more often than not, it's kind of guitar focused, but we never wanted that. We wanted it to be like an equal, right, it's three guys on stage playing instruments and creating something together rather than just being a backing track with a lead guitar. That's all cool, you know, there's musicians that do that brilliantly and everything, but we just didn't want to do that. We wanted to be, you know, three guys having a laugh on stage playing interesting music as far as we're concerned, but improv. His concept is improve.
Do you tend to do that when you're creating a song? Is it that structured, or does it bounce off an improvisation set?
It can be anything really.
Yeah, writing can come from improvisation. So sometimes you'll come up with like a basic riff idea, we'll be in a practice, we'll just jam it, and then we'll just say, oh, why don't we play that note twice, or cut that bit out on the second loop, and then we just keep bouncing it back and forth like that. So I guess that's how we wrote a lot of stuff, through improvising with different ideas and stuff.
Yeah. And the album, a lot of that, it started off being written individually at home and us bringing it together. But then as it progressed, a lot of it was the three of us sat in Danny's studio, his house, just working on things not in a live way kind of thing, just
recording into a computer and literally just like moving things around and messing around with it that way.
And we weren't afraid of commenting on each other's parts, were we? So it wasn't kind of... the concept with this band is no ego whatsoever. There's no room for ego at all, you know. So it'd be... there's guitar parts and bass parts that Dave's written, and he's the drummer, and we've kind of just, right, yeah, we can work with that. That's really cool. You know, I've been in situations before where it's kind of, well, I'm the guitarist, I'm the drummer. You know, so
people get quite precious.
Oh, very gay.
Yeah. Stop stepping on my toes. Yeah, but we don't believe in that. If something sounds cool, then let's use it.
Yeah, it's good fashion.
Yeah, very collaborative.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
We always give things a go as well. If someone's got an idea, like okay, let's give it a go, and you know, again, the no ego. If we feel like something works better, we go with it. Yeah.
Excellent, guys. It's been absolutely brilliant speaking with you.
Thank you.
All the best with your set.
Thank you.
Yeah, whether we'll catch it is debatable, obviously, because of our interview schedule, but I'm sure it'll go down an absolute storm. And we certainly look forward to the new album, whatever it's
I'll
going
be
to be.
keeping an eye out.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.